Majestix Podcast. I am your host, Chase, and as always, I got my partner in crime, Pat.
What's up?
All right, and today we also have Travis, aka Aries Edge. He writes on the Majestix Apex as the Players Pulse. You are from the New England area, I am told, and you run the Brothers Grimm Facebook page.
That is correct. Yes, I do run the.
Right?
Yes, it's the Brothers Grimm Facebook page. I'm in Connecticut, which is part of New England.
I thought that was when you messaged me originally, you were like, you need someone from the New England area.
Yeah, man. I mean, who else do you have writing for you that's from New England, or it's from the New England area?
Yeah.
It means Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont. I mean, there's probably 13 players in all of that. And they're all mostly in Massachusetts.
And one WizKids Open.
One WizKids Open, it's usually in Carver, Massachusetts. It's about a 2-hour drive. Or I got to cut over to Kenny Pena's territories in Boonton. So I like to stay in Carver.
How far are you from, so how far is New Jersey then? You said 2 hours?
Well, I've clocked it at, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes, depending on traffic. It all depends on how the bridge is. Because you have the bridge and all that stuff.
WizKids is in New Jersey, right?
Yes, I believe WizKids is in New Jersey.
Okay. That's weird that they're there and there's only a couple WizKids Opens around there.
Usually in like their area, there's usually 4 in that one clumped up area, but one's in Brooklyn, one's in 2 different areas of Jersey, and then usually we get 1 or 2 depending on attendance in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. Most of the time it's been in Carver, Mass. So
you ever go to well, you're all the way up there. Isn't there a convention? There was like a Granite Con or something. Wasn't there something up there where they had like rock events?
They had I'm talking about, this is probably like 5, maybe 6 years ago. They had a convention in New Jersey where my brother actually went to it, and they did battle royals and side events. He got to meet Ben Chewin, who was a world champion, I believe, who made the Ben color. So he got to go to this one like offshoot convention that happened in Jersey, which was amazing. And I was like, they should do that more. It's their state. And then they never came back. It was gone. It came for that 1 year, and then poof, gone.
How far is West Virginia from you guys, or Virginia?
West Virginia, that's probably about a 14-hour drive.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I know they have a pretty big Heroclix scene over there. Alex Avila and the Four Horsemen Gaming and stuff like that, they're all over there.
And I've actually played down there.
Oh, okay.
I've met Avila once.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't playing, he swung in. I've played in a shitload of states. You can ask the Mackay brothers. I played in Hawaii for one of their...
Really?
Yeah, I played in their Con in Your Store event and placed second. I played North Carolina, South Carolina, and you name it. I've not been to the Midwest, though. I haven't gotten to a rock event in the Midwest, though.
What's the farthest you've gone over to play?
The farthest, obviously, is going to be Hawaii.
Okay. Well, again, besides that, that'll be
so in the States, how about that?
Yeah.
In the States, the farthest I've gone down to is probably Florida. For me, being in Connecticut, I haven't ventured too far west. The farthest west, I played in Pennsylvania. I used to live in Pennsylvania for a little bit, so I played in it's called Adventure Games.
Sorry, keep going. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking at the door here at the store. I'll be right back.
When are you gonna come out to Majestix? You gotta hit one of these events. This Open Series events are a blast, dude.
It's all about timing, man. I mean, I've got Aaron knocking on my door all the time. Hey, when you come into an event, I got a couch you can sleep on. You gotta show up. And I'm like, it's not that I don't want to come out. I would love to travel and knock off some of those West Coast states. It's all timing. It's all about timing. My son usually comes up for the summertime because he lives in Long Island. So I use all of my vacation usually when he comes up.
Gotcha.
So for me to try and like finagle a long weekend, especially all the way to California, would be something. It's
Dude,
definitely
it's a haul, man.
I've been to Vegas too. I just never got a chance to actually play in Vegas, which was a bummer.
Oh, they got a bunch of stores you can play at too.
They did. The person that I was with at the time in Vegas, not a very happy person, didn't want me playing Heroclix when we were in Vegas. So Travis didn't get to play no clicks in Vegas.
So, all right, let's get right to the meat of this. You wrote an article. I know it's supposed to be for Worlds, but since Rock Cup is in like 3 weeks, and World is like 2.5 months, I think it's appropriate because a lot of those people are going to be there. So you put the top 5. It was top 5 teams.
Yes.
Right, and then you had the honorable mentions. Yeah, including us. Thanks, appreciate that. But I mean, we're basically non-existent at this point.
Anytime the Apex Riders want to come rolling through again, I mean, the credentials are there, multiple-time world champion and shit like that. That puts you right into the mix.
Yeah,
People forget about that.
The problem is the team is Pat.
Because the other guys stopped playing. That's why.
Yeah. Well, Kevin's getting back in. We might be roping him back in, right?
Yeah, slowly. We'll see.
And I mean, he pulls $200 pieces, so he might as well play them, right?
I don't know. Did you see that? About when I put the pictures up of
yes.
He pulled Mjolnir, Thor, and Beta Ray Bill.
I was so. If I knew Thor was going to be that big of a set, I would have bought some. I bought one super booster and flipped it for something that I wanted.
Uh-huh.
But it was like, and then I saw everything that came out, and then Star Fox came out, and I'm looking and I'm putting the pieces together, and I'm like, shit. Like, this is going to be horrible to play against with his flurry and everything. I was like, I should have invested in the Thor set. But, I mean, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, I mean, until the Avengers movie, Infinity War, came out, Thor wasn't really that big of a marketable character. So it would make sense when that set came out. It was like, all right, cool, but it's not like, Iron Man or maybe even Cap. Now, obviously, it's huge because of those 2 movies. So, yeah, that makes sense. Because I know a lot of people didn't buy it either. You know, I mean, they just got it because it had the new rules, but that,
Exactly.
That's it. So.
But a big thing, too, that's what drove me away from buying Marvel. I used to collect everything. I got really tired of just the velocity of sets that came out, and every set had to have multiple Captain Americas or Iron Mans and so on. And so I got really, really burnt out, and I started just to cherry pick stuff.
Well, that's what they just did, even in the new Secret World with all the different stuff they can do, the Battle World. I just noticed that in the Porter videos, there's a generic Iron Man in there. I'm sure there's going to be a generic all the other ones too, but...
Yep, you have a common Iron Man. You had 2 Spider-Men and one booster with the blue and red and 6 and black suit.
But no Fantastic Four?
That's... my brother is the biggest Fantastic Four fan too. And he just...
forever, man.
The last time we saw the Fantastic Four was what? Galactic Guardians? We got that.
Well, Chaos War, they came out with the LE, the Future Edition guys.
Yes.
That was after Galactic Guardians, but there were LEs. That's it.
What about the M10 or whatever?
That was we got 2 different, what the hell's his name? Thing.
We got Thing in that.
Street Thing, and then you had...
That was about the same time, though. That was all around the same.
I think they'd already made them, and they were just waiting to put them out. I think that's what happened with them.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. You see these sets come out, and like Fantastic Four are like huge parts of these storylines.
Yeah, Secret Wars is
gone. They're just gone. It's like they never existed. You're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's like Chase. I don't know if you've read it, but you know who made Battle World?
Duke.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's not in it.
He's not.
I mean, you can't look at a forum post about Battle World and not see somebody post that. So, like, even if I didn't know that, like, from reading it or paying attention.
I wonder why they even went along with the set if they knew that they weren't going to have the Fantastic Four. They might as well name it a Fantastic Four set and just not have any Fantastic Four. Because it's the same thing.
The only way I could think of them doing that is if they've asked, like, when are we getting Fantastic Four? And they're like, there is no timetable, we're not giving it. And they're just like, screw it. Because, I mean, you hold off to the set because right now you see the acquisition, so you wonder maybe they'll get it. obviously they're not going to get it right away just because of all the finalization and stuff like that and getting the approval. But why not hold off on the set? We just also got like a cool weird set like this from What If, so we could have waited a little bit.
Yeah, I mean if they wanted to do Battle World, so I think that's why they name it Battle World instead of Secret Wars, because Battle World is it's kind of like I guess the main thing is they put Secret Wars in front of it, so it throws a lot of people off. But if you actually look at Battle World, there's a lot of different non-Fantastic Four parts in the planet.
Well, because they all have their own little areas anyway.
It was like I guess they have subsets.
They have to rope you in with like, what's Battle World? Like, oh yeah, it's part of Secret Wars. Like, okay, cool. But then, you look a little more and you're like, wait a minute, Secret Wars, that's like Fantastic Four. What? And then
I wonder if they even needed the Secret Wars though. Honestly.
That's what I mean. Like, I thought maybe they might have to do that to know that it's part of a bigger thing. Yeah. Hopefully we might get, how it says Secret Wars Battle World. What if later on we get Secret Wars set,
Secret Wars
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
like an actual Secret Wars. You get like the Sun, Johnny Storm, and like big wall. That's the thing. Like, I just scroll through and you just like, oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
I'm just kidding. I know.
It's been out for a while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
No, and that's this was they're getting it's even worse than the X-Men treatment. You know what I mean? Where we waited so long for X-Men. So I feel like they're still just waiting for the green light. But
yeah. I guess it is what it is. But all right, getting back to
we got a little off topic. It's called derailing.
Okay, so Rock Cup is coming up. So we can combine Rock Cup and World. Although things could change between the Rock Cup and World because the format will be set, and then you'll see who like the Rock Cup champion is going into whatever, and the team format, whatever. So once you go over the 5 teams that you had, you listed them from 5 to 1, or were they in particular order?
They were in no particular order, and I'd gotten some pushback already from some people that were like, "Oh, well, Michael Love is on Uncanny Clicksman." Well, yeah, I didn't know that at the time. So he got so you should be happy. He got his whole section about how many asses that this kid's been kicking throughout the entire year. So I'm sorry that I snubbed all of the Uncanny Clicksmen, but Michael Love has been smashing through people. And people are like, well, I did really good in the WizKids Opens. I can't go through Super Qualifiers, WizKids Opens, Mega Qualifiers because the attendance is so spotty. Like, someone can have a WizKids Open win, and there can be 8 players there. And then somebody else could have a Super Qualifier win, and there are 40 people there. So how do I weigh those out as, this person's got 3 WizKids Open wins, and this person's got... You have to go by what they've done, in my opinion, at the big shows in, like, the last 4 years. Maybe.
But here's but at the very, very base level, so if we're already going with that, the WizKids Open and the Super Qualifiers are going to be below, let's say, I guess it would just be Nationals, Worlds, and Rock Cup. Mm-hmm. Even if we did that, if you didn't win a WizKids Open or Super Qualifier and you're complaining, what the hell are we even talking about? So if the pushback you're getting is
they did
from someone, if the
that's basically what it was. Yes.
Yeah. So if the pushback you're getting is someone who's, let's say, top 4, top 8'd these events and they didn't win, what the fuck are we talking about? They need to win. If you tell me, like, there's a better argument for them if they said, I won 3 Super Qualifiers and a WizKids Open, then I'm like, all right, I might have to look at that. But if it was just I just top 8'd these, okay, top 8, 14 people, that's what the hell.
But also,
I should be on there. I top 4 the Majestix Open in Colorado. There's only 10 people, right?
Yeah,
I did well.
No, you didn't win.
That tournament,
I did so well.
How do I weigh that?
Oh.
But most of the time, too, these guys that are winning WizKids Opens or Super Qualifiers and stuff are already being named because they're already probably quote unquote top players in the game. So no, I just put them in 5 random orders. I even put a disclaimer in there. I'm not ranking them. If you want to rank them and throw your 2 cents in, by all means, go to town. But the first team that I listed was Team Pusheen.
Yeah.
and you can go back and look through the Facebook pages and stuff like that. When people were talking nationals, not a single person mentioned 4 Points or Pusheen. It was Clickstoff. It was Phoenix Nest. It was who else? Juggernaut, Lucky Dice, Clicksman. I was the only person who threw it out there and was like, "Hey, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have 2 Pusheen guys, maybe 3, finishing top 16, and Kenji and Abdul ended up finished second." So I was the only person who threw out Pusheen because I had just saw those guys. I just played a WizKids Open against them, and they were just playing fun teams, and they were just stomping people. And people
did they lose their like people giving them love because of Kenny not playing with them?
Well, no, I don't think it's that. This is why. This is the main reason. All of this that you're hearing, all the chatter that you see on the Facebook page, whatever, where in the country is this all coming from?
Midwest.
Exactly. The Midwest and the South. There's none from the West. There's none from the East. So obviously the bias is there also because all of the rock events, I would say like 85 to 90% of the events are in that region.
They're all in the region.
Yes. So obviously when you see like, oh, this guy won, this guy top 8, this guy won. I'm like, well, yeah, because there's no events out here or where you're at. So there's no way to really assess.
There's no barometer because it's all. I mean, you have a team roll up to an event and say 15 people show up. 8 of them are your teammates.
That's true.
You've already got the numbers advantage in your advantage because you're half the damn player pool. Yeah. Like so, like I get it. Like okay, cool, you won the event, but you brought 8 people to 16 people event. Like, and that's why I took that all out. That's why.
That's a good point.
Hell, Howard Brock hasn't played in anything. Mm-hmm. He's been worrying about opening up Lucky Dice Cafe, getting his business going, and I still threw his name in the top 5 just for the fact that he is the reigning world champion and he's on the reigning world team championships. You can't discredit that. Even though the guy hasn't played probably anything competitively, I mean, maybe he's playing behind closed doors with Easton, he's staying sharp, things like that, but he's got a whole other business adventure that he's taking care of, but you still can't discredit what he did last year because he's going to walk in there with the same mindset of I want to repeat. So that's the reason for them on the list too.
You put stratagem, not Lucky Dice, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like the most confusing thing. Even they don't answer the question because I ask them and they're like, I don't know, it's so weird. Stratagem or Lucky Dice?
I've heard so many different, because even someone was like, oh no, they're this and this, and then someone else on the pages was like, oh, but they go by this.
Yeah.
It's like, I needed a
fucking what is
Excel spreadsheet.
How can you can't come with of all the things you can't cover the team name?
Lucky Stratagem.
Yeah,
it's not even that. It's
no,
just
there's different people. That's
so
the thing.
much.
There's they're different people on the teams.
But some of the same people.
Yes, there's crossovers. It's like if you did the Venn diagram with the 2 circles, there's like the names in the middle, boom, and then the outside.
It's like
so it's like one and then like a main band and a side project. What are we doing?
NWO Wolfpack and NWO Black and White.
Yes,
but sometimes they bleed over into each other.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it is. I mean,
and eventually they war with each other. So I'm waiting for that to happen.
Exactly.
It's kind of like you 3 aren't good enough for this team, but I still like playing with you too, so I'm gonna play on both. What the fuck?
So like I'll tell you this, like Easton and Howard are on both.
Yes.
Wes is on Stratagem. Warren is on Lucky Dice.
Yes.
And I don't know who else is on Stratagem. There's a couple other people there, and I think Lucky Dice is just those 3, but I don't know.
I don't got time for that shit. You're all just getting branched into one group. Sorry and I've already had to apologize to people. People are like the whole Michael Love thing. Oh, he's with Uncanny Clicksman. Cool, man. Last time I heard, he had a falling out with Sci-Fi Factory, and that
really?
People were trying to. When I say fall out, apparently I was corrected on that too. Well, there wasn't really a fallout. So it's like it's playing telephone. You hear one thing, and you hear another, and you hear whatever. So he's with Uncanny Clicksman now, but I heard that he was being recruited by other Texas-based teams and whatnot, but he fell in with.
He should be with Ragnarok because he owns Paris.
That's kind of a name that I heard was tossed around a little bit.
Oh,
he
Paris.
loves rubbing
So
that win-loss record in Paris' face.
he throws it all the time. It's so funny. I know Paris doesn't care,
Yes. He
but
just rubs it. Hey, remember that time I beat you in that tournament?
yeah,
And
yeah,
Paris salty, just
it's
motherfucker.
hilarious though.
Hey,
I think he's
Chris,
undefeated against him.
hey, what's that?
I think Mike is undefeated against him. I think, right?
He's like 7-0.
Yeah, and they've played in like the top eights and the finals of events all the time
Absolutely.
over there.
Absolutely.
So,
I actually had a conversation with Paris, and I told him that he fucked me by not going to nationals. On one of the other podcasts, he was my pick. They're like, who do you think is going to step up this year and have a big year? And I'm like, boom, Paris scored. It's a rebound year for him, this and that. He messaged me like a week later, hey, bro, I appreciate it, but I'm not going to nationals. And I was like, come on! I'm like, what are you doing to me? You're killing my pick. He's going to
well,
October, though, from
yeah,
what I hear.
yeah, he is. He already told me.
I'm picking Paris.
Paris? Okay, that's good. I mean, he gave me I mean, he's been refocusing back because he's been playing a lot of Magic. So now that he's refocused, you know, he should be a force to be reckoned with because now he's like actively, you know, testing, looking at teams, and he actually gave me like a preliminary list of what he's playing. He's still working on it, so you know, he helped test with George before George came out here to
I
win.
love George.
You know, so that helped.
I can say right now, if there's one person that I am looking forward to meeting at Worlds, it's George. Just so I can have him autograph my Black Adam card. And I can just tell him thank you for making Green Arrow great again. Appreciate that. I've been working so hard. I was working on a Green Arrow team where the common Green Lantern from Elseworld was going to carry him and Sam Cap. And I was going to try and get that Alpha Strike off, that shot with Green Arrow, one shot, a Unimind or something, and then have Sam. And I couldn't roll a 5 or a 6 to save my life, so I scrapped that shit quick.
But you know, this past weekend at the Canada Cup, Tom Kerr of the Heroclix, the Metal Lab, he won with Green Arrow, a Gotham City theme team.
A Gotham City theme team, I saw that too. Yep.
With the Batgirl title character, she's pretty good. The more I look at her, she's pretty good.
I'm saying I might be playing her at Worlds, but
nice.
Might be playing her at Worlds. Be playing her at Worlds.
Yeah, but it's Green Arrow, man. I mean, it's always, you know, what's weird because when you saw Green Arrow initially, the ID card was out. So you're like, why would I ever need to pay 80 points when I could just pay 5 and just kill somebody real quick? And then because, you know, you can only attack every other turn because you can't attack if you have one token. So like, oh, let's just use them once. And it's like a lot of times it's enough. But now you don't have that. You know, people actually have to experiment a little bit, and then you can see that it's working at least. Same with Hawkeye, right? Hawkeye was a call-in before, and now like Edward Shelton won. He won the regional over there in Oklahoma. I mean, I guess I don't know how many Phoenix Nest guys were in attendance, but he won, and he had Chase Hawkeye. So these figures we thought were just ID call-ins are good now, just main force. I mean, just very interesting.
Green Arrow is, I mean, he always was good. He's just slower.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you take 5 points
to 80. You can't get too aggressive. You have to really pick your shots. I think the Rachel Summers card is going to help out a lot.
The running shot.
Well, especially if you drop in, Common Marvel Girl as well, because she comes in with TK.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can throw them across the board, and then you can running shot with them as well. And hopefully you don't shit the bed and not hit, and then just Green Arrow's out there like, yep, I got one arm, just come get me.
You know, the only thing I would think of, so for me, I don't know if, I mean, I guess that is an option, but most of the time, because you want to hit, you want to use the sidestep RCE.
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
You don't miss. So if you're going to running shot, you can't. So it's like, now it's a 12 on, let's say they have deflection or whatever, and they have Unimind as a 20 defense, and you're like, oh, now I need an 8. But if you just sidestep RCE, that might be enough. Especially if you give him Stormbreaker, because now he gets +2 to the range. So it's effectively a 12 12 range RCE, which is pretty good. And you combine it with any kind of enhancement, whatever, he's smashing for a lot.
You just keep that Commander Gordon nearby.
Yeah. That's George's.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think it's nice to have the Rachel Summers in the pocket, though.
For sure.
For late game, if you're able to get that sidestep range combat expert out there, and then like later on you need to get him into a certain spot to be able to pick someone off for like 3 or something like that. That Rachel Summers in the back pocket, I think is good. Just it gives him more mobility, and that's what I've always said is that Green Arrow just a little bit more mobility and played not super aggressive where you're just throwing him out there and you want to get the first shot in. I think you're good with them. Yeah,
that's what George was doing. Just being patient, getting ready. He'll lead with the Sam Cap and then follow up with the Green Arrow. That's that's really good. It's like a nice 1-2 punch.
One of the Majestix things that I was watching with him playing when he was out there on the U.S. Cup, I'm looking over and I'm like, who is that still in the starting area? It was Green Arrow. He was just still sitting there like, yep, I'll get to you. I'll get to you.
Eventually.
Get this out here in the front mix. And he just sat him in the starting area for a little bit, and then finally just started to slowly sidestep him out. And I think people forgot that he was still sitting back there.
Yeah, because you're so worried about Sam Cap coming up and bringing along the tank and Professor X and doing all these things. You got to worry about that, and then when you actually try to deal with that, then here comes Green Arrow, and you're like, oh wait, yeah, he's still there. Crap. Now I just took 6 damage. Like, okay.
Well, what he was doing was he was just using the energy explosion.
Yep.
And all your guys just lose your defense powers. Then you drop a tank. And just, I don't know, take out, your whole Wolverine squad. See you later.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. So, but, so you had Pusheen. Who was the other team?
I had Pusheen, 4 points.
Yeah, 4 points.
It's 4 points. They've won.
Yeah, everything.
I think everything. I don't think they've won Worlds yet.
When they were Wizard Worlds.
Yes,
they ran through. Scott won, I think 2 or 3.
I even put that in there too, as Scott and Ed both have won a couple Wizard Worlds back.
And they're both, they're one's a national, like the current, like recently, one's national, and then 2 of them are Rock Cup or 2. Yeah, they have 2 nationals and 2 Rock Cup wins.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
has Scott done anything lately?
No, that's what I mean. Scott won. Scott was national champion in 2016.
Yeah, he made Clock King.
Okay.
He just made it Clock King Prime.
Okay.
And then I put down Phoenix Nest, just because they have the reigning Canadian champion. Finally, PJ was able to break through and keep the tradition alive of not letting Canadians win their own championship. So thank you for that, PJ. Hopefully we can continue that and just make them even saltier.
He came second in Canada Cup this weekend. So it would have been nice if it was a 2 for 2 right there.
That's definitely a slap in the face when he comes up there and steals.
He was saying, he's like, oh, I'm so close to just owning Ontario. It was funny. And then he lost, like, oh, you should have said that.
Jinxed himself, man.
Oh. Yeah, but he did lose to the Green Arrow Batgirl, so that's not that bad.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, because at least it's not Unimind, it's not X-Men, it's not, it's not like those kind of teams. So
it's not the same. It's not the same stuff that we're gonna see. It wasn't a Shredder's team. It wasn't a Star Fox team. The Lockjaw. It wasn't just the same cookie cutter, certain types of things. I mean, the Sam Cap is the one that I think that people can add their own flair to, because it's not just the same Sam Cap run every single time. There's always a secondary or a third the character on the team. So there is some diversity with the Sam Cap, but when you run a Unimind team, it's usually Unimind Lockjaw, Star Fox Lockjaw. It's the same setup. And I mean, I even said it too when talking about Clicked Off, because they're on there, that if it's not broke, don't fix it. It took Lane and Dan to the 1 and 2 seeds after Swiss last year, but they just ran into 2 different armies that just were able to do more. And I think I even gave credit to Lane for thinking and going outside, and he started to play a Blackbird team that PJ Bolin was playing around with, and Sam She
They
ran.
played. Yeah, they
Eternity
played in the
ran.
same. It was the same weekend of. I think it was the Canadian Nationals and like states were in the same weekend, so they both played the same team. So
Yes.
yeah.
It was something along those lines
Was that the
where
same Blackbird team that you ran in
Yeah.
Open? Okay.
No. My version doesn't run two Moiras.
Yeah, yours is you put in
I
Duke
played.
Darwin.
I played dupe,
Oh,
and
Duke.
my ID card setup is different. I don't play. They play Jean Grey, but I don't because if the Blackbird dies, you can't call it in. So, or you can't even. Yeah, you can't real boy nothing. So
yeah,
and
Just a deck card.
line.
yeah. So and also I don't like to miss. So dupe just 100% gives you a prob that you have every turn on top of your theme team probs. And I needed that when I was in Vegas. I needed that like almost all the rounds. Because even with like a 13 attack, you're missing because they also have like a 19, 20, 21 defense. Because they're rocking Star Foxes themselves. So
Yep.
like,
Pump up
you gotta hit a 20.
every turn and just go from there.
So but that's like the slight difference. And what you put? You said it was Uncanny Cliffman, Pusheen,
Pusheen 4 points, Phoenix Nest,
Phoenix Nest, right? And then Clickstuff.
and Clickstuff. Those are my 5. I think my honorable mentions. I mentioned CWO.
Yeah, they're like a new. Okay, who's on there? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't.
No idea. I thought it was Jalen Major and Jay Major.
Oh,
So
it's them.
I
Okay.
think it is them, and they came out hot. They came out with a couple wins. But again, honorable mention because I mean they haven't.
For sure.
They came out. They did good, and I think they're going to continue to do well.
They should change the name to the Foot Clan because they only play shredders.
That's it, man. They're very well. I mean, the same thing can be said about Micah. He should jump over to CWO.
Yeah, that's right.
All he plays is shredders. The day that those shredders just retire is the day that Micah will probably just lose his mind and cry.
Oh, dude, yeah. What's he gonna do in
I gotta play real Heroclix now. Damn.
I know, man.
Majestix Open Series.
Does he have dice? I don't know if he has dice.
I think he just sidesteps out, sidesteps in, just does that a bunch of times.
Yeah, and he's like, wait, so when I attack, I roll 2 dice, right? Yeah.
Can I roll 1 and then roll the other one? Do I roll?
I know. That's funny. So, how many people do you think are going to be at the Rock Cup?
Oh God, I mean, it's such a weird layout now this year with going October, November. Do we know what the numbers were last year?
So the last couple years have been over 100 for sure. Around, I would say the top end estimate. We're talking about unique people, just overall, probably like 150. But the actual people that played in the main event last year was, I believe, 86. But that's also the people who qualified. So I don't know how many people didn't qualify that were playing, that were there. I mean, I don't think it was much.
I didn't go. I would say, I
think it would be less or.
I think it's going to be less. I honestly think it's going to be less just because I think when people look at the big picture of I have 2 different choices, I can go to the Rock Cup or I can save up and I can go to
PAX.
Worlds and PAX. I think they're going to go to PAX.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rocktober is going to take a hit. I think they're going to see probably a 20 to 30 person drop. Because I think Paris has already said too that he is going to Rock Cup but isn't going to Worlds. And Micah has said he's not going to Rock Cup but is going to be going to Worlds.
Right.
So I think you're going to see a lot of people who have that World invitation already.
That's true.
Are going to say, to hell with it. I'm just going to put my eggs in that basket and go.
That's a good point. That's like a very good observation because you're right. Because someone like Micah, who finished in the top 16 of nationals, has his spot already reserved at Worlds.
Yep.
So it would be a waste for him to just like let it go. So it would make sense for all those people if they did have a choice to go to Worlds. So yeah, I didn't think about it like that, and because before it was never a problem because Worlds was before the Rock Cup and it was in the summer, so it was like there's like a good 3-month gap where you can actually go to Worlds, wait those 3 months or so, and then go to the Rock Cup. Now it's what, less than 2 months. It's like the Rock Cup was, so it's like
a month and a half. Yeah.
5 weeks, 6 weeks in between. Wow.
Yep. And it's gonna be.
It's already during the holiday season, which you got time off for other stuff, and traveling and family.
In other news, our invitational's on the 8th.
When he's traveling with family, you got Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's going to be like I said, but I think Worlds is going to actually have a bigger showing than what people think as well.
Do you think it'll be more than last year? Well, yeah. Do you think it'll be more than last year Origin?
At Origins, I say it'll be comparable, or it may even be more. Because, like I said, the people who've already stamped their spots in Worlds aren't going to want to go to waste, and you're kind of opening it up to a whole new ball game of people, like New York.
The 13 people from your area.
The 13 people from my area, and I think only 3 of us are coming. I know my brother is, and a buddy of mine is, and none of them. My brother's literally like, "I'm going to play Battle Royals." I'm like, "That's it." He's like, "Yep, Battle Royals all day. I might go take off, get tattooed, and just hang out." He's like, he has no interest in wanting to play in the main event or play meta. He just loves Philadelphia. Philadelphia's a great city.
Mm-hmm. You
in December.
Absolutely. We're big boys, man. We are Nordic. We are, my friend.
No, but the last thing I want to do is travel to the cold. I grew up in the cold. Grew up in Washington State, Colorado, and all that stuff. Dude, traveling to it.
I will be there in Tim's. I will be there in shorts, and I will be there in a
damn shorts.
Guaranteed.
I believe it. Believe it.
Tim's shorts, hoodie, and I'll be there.
I gotta see this.
I'll take pictures. I'm sure there's gonna be lots of people who are gonna want to.
You gotta Facebook Live it, but you gotta be out there in the blizzard, in the snowstorm when it's.
Oh, I'll be out there doing snow angels after I finish.
I was gonna say you got to do snow angels.
Absolutely, I'll be right at Independence Hall. We're doing snow angels right by where the Declaration of Independence was signed. You get a great old time. With a cheesesteak in my hands.
I haven't really looked at the like the qualifier stuff. Is it just one qualifier?
Yes.
Or multiple qualifiers, or how does it work?
So the way I read it was Friday, right off the rip, Friday 9 a.m. They're doing registration. Okay. 10 o'clock they start the Team Worlds event. So if everything lines up correctly by 2 o'clock, you should have your final cut. The top 16 teams that make it into the World's teams finals will automatically get a bid into the World's Championship for the next day. If your team obviously doesn't make the cut, you have what last chance.
What about the singles part?
Singles part is if you, like I said, if you get bounced out of the teams at 3 p.m., they start the last chance qualifier, and what they do is they take however many rounds of Swiss, and they take the top half.
Oh, top half?
All make Worlds.
Oh my God! I would just go and buy 2 boosters and let's do it.
Well,
top half?
The top half.
And all the good players are qualified? Like, most of the top players are qualified already? Oh, shit.
So I think the 3 o'clock last chance is 300 modern. So you bring your team, and you just pray that you can make the top half, and then you're good to go.
I mean, if you have like any competence in the game, I feel like you should top half. I mean, just half. That means you just have to have a 500 record. You
got to make sure you don't, put up some goose eggs.
I mean,
Well, hopefully, if you're playing good Heroclix, hopefully you already make it because
That's
you're
what I
in the
mean.
top 16 for. Well, you're playing top 16 for Team Worlds.
Oh wait. So if you're in,
Yes,
wait. So in Worlds, you already get in.
at 2:00, they're going to be cutting the top 16 Worlds teams for the Worlds Team Championship. Those players will all get an automatic bid into the World Championship.
The singles.
Yes.
Oh
So
my god! So it's
they
even. So
they can continue to play for their team world championship and not have to worry about dropping out to go and try and qualify if they haven't qualified already.
oh my god! So then it's even easier than at the last chance because then, oh my gosh! So all the national qualifiers, all the nationals people are in, and then the top half of Team World is in, and whoever didn't make it from those gets to play in the singles last chance.
Gets to play in a
Okay.
3:00 Swiss rounded
That is
last chance qualifier, and the top half.
I'm sorry, but if people can't qualify from that, then I don't know. That's
somebody's got to not
Let's
miss.
go.
Jesus. That's I mean that's crazy because I thought it was like a bunch of different because I don't know the last couple times that I I can't even remember. They used to do like 8-man pods where you'd have to win the grinders. You'd have to go 3-0 in your pod, and that's like nerve-wracking because you go 2-0 and then you lose. You're like, crap.
Start all over again.
Start all over again.
Yeah.
That pod means nothing.
Yeah.
It's weird because Sunday they have nothing. Sunday they have 9 a.m. registration, 10 a.m. Battle Royal start, and then it's just Battle Royals until 6.
So then on Saturday, the Team Worlds
is Friday, right off
Friday. Wait a minute. So if I get it. So it just goes right through.
Yes.
It's going to be at the same time of the singles qualifiers.
Yes. So at 2:00, they will cut the top 16 teams who make the cut. Those guys who made the cut, we're not going to penalize you for doing good in the world team event. You will the world.
That's not bad.
You schlubs.
I like that.
That's not bad.
3:00 and try and make it into your worlds.
That's not bad.
And then Saturday, 9 a.m. registration, 10:00 starts your world championship.
And then what's the cut? Is it still top 32, top 16, or what does it say?
I'd have to go back and double check. I think it might have been top 32. I would have to pull it up on the WizKids.
Yeah, so that means they're starting at what, 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
Yeah. All the way until, so that's going to go all the way until like 8, 9, or 10 o'clock. Which is how.
It's going to be some long days.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've back in 2014 they had the team finals and the singles worlds back to back.
Which is also why I think they kind of cut that out, just for the fact that it was such a damn nerve-wracking day.
Yeah.
You smashed National, and like I said, I can't even who won Nationals last year? Was it Cedars?
Cedars, yeah.
And that's the part. And even he said it too. In when I read something somewhere, was that he kind of felt slighted over the fact that everyone remembered that Howard won Worlds.
Exactly.
Nobody remembered that he won Nationals.
Yeah, it was so
just overshadowed.
Yeah.
You're already in old news 2 hours later.
Yeah, that's what
you're already you're old news. You won Nationals a couple days ago.
Yeah, I mean, Chase, you just like illustrated it perfectly because you asked what has Scott done. Scott won Nationals in 2016, but that only lasted because the next day I won, so everybody forgot what happened there.
So, and that's what happened back then. There's a lot of these national champions kind of got shuffled around just because the World Championship happened right afterwards.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was just basically a glorified qualifier for Worlds. Yeah,
Who won Nationals this year?
Isaac,
yeah.
And Kenji came in second?
No, Abdul.
It's one of those Pusheen guys.
I put it on there, man. They have enough guys to put together a damn baseball team.
I know.
And I even wrote that and showed Kenny, and he was like, "Yeah, you're right. We got a shitload of guys."
Well,
But that's the thing, though, is all those guys at any given time could pull their own weight and win something. They're all very talented players.
Well, it's nice when you have a deep stable like that too, because when you want to practice, you should always be able to find somebody, or at least somebody who wants to get involved.
you know what though? What I don't know how their structure is, whatever, but if they are actually actively going to events, spending the necessary time they need weekly to test, then that makes sense. But if you just have like 10 guys and only 3 of them play consistently, or then it's not, you're only on there by name, not from duty or actually contributing. That's why, for us, I don't have, because there's nobody that can dedicate the kind of time that my 3 guys before used to, because I'm not going to waste my time, trying to form a team and trying to help everyone out if they don't travel, they don't put in the time, they don't, they half-ass it. I get it, they got real world shit, and they got work, whatever. But if we want to do it like this, you want to be good, you want to do it, it has to be 100% in. Meaning you gotta have a ready, like a steady practice that comes, once or twice a week. You do online games. You constantly talk about, you go, and then more importantly, you go and play in events to showcase what you've learned and things. And if you don't, then all that practice is for nothing.
Basically.
So I think that, so for them, Pusheen, they do, from what I've seen, they always, when I see pictures of like when Kenji puts his stuff up, or Bradley or Kenny, there's always like a group of 5 or 6 of them that are always at these events, either the Open Series, or like the WizKids Open, or the Rock events. There's always a group of them. So it makes sense why they're good too, because they probably all, and I think they're all in the same area, right?
They have a couple that are in like eastern Pennsylvania, and then they have a bunch that are in like the Jersey area.
Okay.
But that was like even like the WizKids Open that I mentioned in the article. I show like I'm on my way to it, and Kenny shoots me a message. Oh, hey, good luck today against my Pusheen guys. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because we're in like way up there in Massachusetts. He's like, oh yeah, Abdul, Kenji, Jason, and I think Bradley are all showing up to it. And I was like, okay, fuck, today just got a little bit harder. Like,
how far are you guys?
I'm like 2 hours from where we were going to Massachusetts. So some of those guys, they got a hotel. I'll just come up to and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, here we go. I played Kenji. He played a politician team. He was fooling around with a politician team with Mr. Nobody stealing objects and stuff. So I literally had to chase him all the way to the corner of a map and got points. Jason was playing Thor Odin's son, the title, with the Fast Forces Penguin. He had the Green Lantern for Barrier, and I think he had 2 Carnages, and we both just rolled like shit. And I think it came down to me calling in Nightwing and KOing like one thing, and I outpointed him by a couple, and that was it. And then I ran into a Shredder team that just demolished me.
No dice rolls, man.
And I was playing a Shredder team too.
Oh. When did you start playing?
I've been playing since Mage Knight. So
Wave, like a Mage Knight, like 2001?
Like, yes, Mage Knight. Like, I just posted it up on one of the Facebook things. My first case that I bought was Mage Knight Lancers, because I wanted the Arcane Draconum. It was like the big serpent-looking Draconum. So I started playing way back then.
You didn't get one of the 4 Horsemen?
I didn't know, unfortunately. I didn't. Back then, like, a bunch of my buddies were trying to tell me the rules, and nobody understood it. So I just got super pissed off and was like, fuck it, and just got out of the game for a while. And then I called my brother, my best friend. I was hanging out with him, and I was like, yeah, I used to play this game called Mage Knight and stuff. And he literally pulled a tub of Heroclix out and was like, take anything you want.
Oh man,
Serious. Like, this is all doubles. Take anything you want. Let's start playing.
nice.
Hey, let's go. My first Legacy pack. That Legacy was when I first got back into.
Ooh, that's a nice set.
Kingdom Come Flash was my
That's
first
a nice set.
It was a very nice set.
Oh, jeez. Ares is in that one too.
Yep. So Kingdom Come Flash was my first pull. I played it at a Wizard World Philadelphia. A couple years later, I played that. I didn't play the normal. I didn't play Lockjaw.
You didn't play Lamp?
No, I played Owlman because I liked having the CSA team ability and having the built-in prob there. He had Outwit. He could deal some damage. He had free damage. I enjoyed having the two. And I put in contact with Oracle on him as well.
Of course, who did?
So it made it so that I had two different ways to hurt you. And I think I have I still have the Wizard World paper kicking around of my original team build.
Oh, nice.
And I think I made like top 32. And
it was 300 points. It was 300 points, right, back then?
Yeah, I had 299. It was like 3 figures and then like 60 points of just feat cards.
Oh, God.
Because that's how everyone did it back then. It was in contact Oracle, nanobots, protected.
Armor piercing?
Armor piercing, yep. It was just...
And then there's like, you got like...
Think about the meta now. Like,
it's like Trick Shot, Fortitude. Those are the other ones people play, right?
Trick Shot, Fortitude, Stunning Blow was a good one.
What's the one that Lockjaw uses? The double time or whatever?
Yes, you can move double its movement or whatever to get across the board.
Were feat cards like one-turn play kind of things?
They could be. If you use like Protected was a one-time use.
Protected was one-time use. They deal you damage. You would just use the protected card. It's gone. But like your nanobots would stay on. Your in contact with Oracle would stay on.
They're like your original resources, kind of.
Yeah, because I always see this weight. Like I got it in a Flash, and you always see it every event. Doesn't matter what a WizKids event you go to on anything. It always says no feat cards.
Yeah.
So I never have bothered to even learn them.
How were the battlefield conditions? What were the rules for them, like for in tournament play?
Oh God, you had to. I think player one, and don't quote me on this. I think player one had to show their battlefield condition first because they got to choose map, and then player two got to play theirs second. So if you played and everyone had ordinary day,
of course,
just in their hand waiting for that one shitty one where you're like Atlantis Rising, everything is watered. Like no, ordinary day.
But you can only use that once in the tournament, right?
You had to pick. Yes, you had to pick. I think. 5 or whatever, however many rounds it was, you had to have that many different, unique battlefield conditions.
And you could use it if you wanted to. You didn't have to, right?
Exactly. If you decided not to use, usually the gentleman's agreement would be, if you don't use one, I'm not going to use one.
Yeah, I figured that's what I figured. That's why, I mean, obviously that thing went away. But were event dials ever a thing? Because I wasn't, I took a break during that time.
I kind of took a break during that time too, because that was kind of when the game had died. We had that one shoot off Hammer of Thor, and then it came back around, and I still hadn't put too much faith that the game was going to stay, because, I mean, we'd seen it, bobble so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
I have one of them. I think it's one of the Crisis dials, but I've never used the thing. I just have it because it's DC.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever actually used them or how they were used in tournaments or anything like that. I have no idea. When I got back into the game like heavily and I played it on a regular basis, it was DC 75. Is when I started to really buy Heroclix again, and I pulled
White Lanterns.
I pulled White Lantern Hal, and I pulled White Lantern Superman.
Nice.
And then my brother gave me White Lantern Flash.
Oh, that's the one. That's the king right there, Flash.
I have all those. And then you had White Lantern Sinestro was like one of my viables. I have him still kicking around. They're all just sitting. I have all of them just sitting in a case, never used, just sitting there. Because we had where I played, I never got to use entities. I never got to use resources really. Because 1 or 2 times that I did, I ended up just kind of like killing off my player base. They're like, well, I'm not going to play if the Texas me. And I was
that's
like,
why you're so that's why you like really looking for like to build up so you can have like a win a map rock event so that you have like, look, so we can play these things, guys. Right.
I've just kind of gotten them into playing ID cards. And well, let me rephrase that. They had the ID cards for a long time.
They just never use it.
We still had like 2 or 3 guys in the play group that were like about it. And then finally I was like, guys, if you have the stuff, play it. And if people complain, they have 2 choices. They can get on the same level or they can just get off.
That's
a lot of them just got off. It was like
that's always the thing. Yeah.
This is the line in the sand. If you're not going to get on our level, then maybe this is not the game for you because
or
maybe
maybe
have to dumb down the way we play for you.
Right. No, that's 100%. Like that's how it is around here too. There are certain stores that they don't play, and they still even use the old verbiage. Like I've seen, there's a Heroclix page that's called SoCal Heroclix. They still use the word restricted. Restricted hasn't been used
since Nom.
Since before the cards were out, because they used to call restricted and non-restricted as terms of like what's retired and what's not retired.
Yes.
I've never even heard that.
Exactly. But if you go to that page, they still use those words. And they're like, wow, these guys really don't know what they're talking about, because if you're still using those, that means they haven't really updated with the time, which also means they probably don't even know what half these new things are doing.
Are you talking about Always Gaming?
I don't know. I've seen a few of them that post that, and I'm just...
There's one that just has like the house rules. Like you look at the house rules, and there's like 5,000 things.
They don't want.
I stopped playing because I went twice and didn't know about the house rules on something.
But they don't want to evolve. They don't want to change. That's the problem.
They want to play D&D with their
friends. Like you want to play D&D, play D&D.
That's the way I look at it.
So I moved to Pennsylvania. I have a great story for you because you just talked about house rules. I didn't know the house rules. Yeah. I moved to Pennsylvania for a little while for work and ended up coming back. So I'm playing in my first tournament back. I gave it over to a couple of guys and was like, keep the game alive. And they did. So I come back and I'm playing in my first tournament. And this guy goes, okay, I'm going to go ahead and blow out the wall here. And I'm like, all right, you're doing 2 damage. Oh, no. We house ruled that you can just do 2 damage to go through a wall. And I'm like, no fucking way. And they're like, excuse me? I'm like, there's no way. You're not house ruling a core rule. Like, house rule is like what you can play. You're literally going into the rule book
like
now.
No Highlander or something.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't like this. Make it 2 damage instead of 3. I'm like, no, I'm not letting you do it.
And he's TK like, is now 10 range.
I literally just looked at him. I was like, are you guys serious? You're just making up, just rewriting rules, huh? Okay. I was floored when they were like, yeah, there's not that many guys that can blow through walls. Just make it 2 damage. Well, if that's the case, let me take back, 7 moves, because I didn't know that was one of your stupid made.
One of the back when we first started, one of the rules that speaking of that, when you were talking about that, there was a special rule at one of the stores I played at where phasing and teleport could attack through walls.
No,
like yes, because that's how it was. Like this back in 2003, when like because the D&D side of the players are like, well, it doesn't make sense why Shadow Cat can't attack this person through the wall. She would pull them through the wall and attack it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, sure. And then you're like, wow, this is really broken, because if you have phasing, you can just punch the other guy through the other wall. Like, you could... It was nuts. And then one of the other ones, they called it TK Slam, where you could TK somebody into a wall to damage them as if they were, like, knocked back. Or you can TK them off the roof, and if they don't fly, they take... It was like... It was totally like how D&D guys would do it. And that's how I feel some of these venues...
I actually like the TK Slam. We're gonna house rule that.
That's how, dude. It was crazy, and being new to the game, I just thought that was normal. And then when you start playing other venues, I'm like, oh, you guys don't play that way? And I'm like, oh my goodness.
And they look at you like you're an idiot. And you're like, something is wrong.
I've been learning wrong this whole time.
I don't think it's on my side. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's. Oh God, that kills me.
So I think I'm going to clickbait the heck out of this episode. By the way, I'm going to name it "Evaluating the New Rule TK Slam."
There was a bunch of things like that because like I always tell people that play this that end up playing who maybe they don't play from like a gaming perspective. So gaming, just playing games in general. If you want to figure out what the rules are, normally it uses logic, like true logic, not common sense. People like to invoke common sense in Heroclix, but logically it doesn't work. Like and the age-old example that I have, and I still get this to this day. You're next to Batman. He's in stealth and hindering. They go, I want to outwit Batman, and they go, you can't. Why? You can't see him because he's in stealth. And they say, well, I'm next to him, so I can't see him. Like, no, so I can't attack him. Wait, you can punch him. Wait, and then they just it just blows their mind. Like, wait, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. How can I punch him if I can't see him? To do this, I'm like, oh, you know what, man? You're using common sense. You can't use common sense in Heroclix. You have to use logic.
You have to use
the logic because you need line of fire to see.
I'm right next to him. I still can't see him.
Yeah, it's like that. That's how a lot of the people who would think about it, they would always ask questions like that, and you have to always. That should be some kind of meme or something where it's like new player memes or something, or just like I guess like these like the super casual memes where they like their house rule would be, yes, if I can next to you I can see you. So
we could be here forever for that.
Yeah.
We could be here forever for that. Like the old stealth rules. I'm hiding behind the gumball machine. You can't see me.
Yeah.
It's a light object.
Yep.
Like, motherfucker, I can see you behind that gumball machine. Like, you're not hiding behind that.
Yeah.
It's clear. Gumball machine is clear. I can still see. No. It's an object. It's stealth. Oh,
yeah. Yep.
They changed that one.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, yeah, they did try to do some things to make it, I guess, make more sense, but I don't know. It's hard to try to explain to somebody who only uses common sense as opposed to logic. That's basically what it is. Especially when it comes to places where it's like a big D&D group, big D&D crowd. So that's what they're going to use. So.
And that's one of my players left.
Oh,
he's a D&D guy.
Yeah,
there you go. He just didn't. It was always the power creep, the power creep, and it's this, and it's so broken. It's like, listen, man, like there's always in every single game you play, there's always going to be like people look at it so negatively, like, oh God, it's so broken. No, it's not broken. The players are just that sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
The players are just that smart that we can find these combos and we can exploit them. That's the way you should look at it, is that we're not dumb. We can see how this works with this, and then WizKids goes, shit.
Yeah.
I have to fix it. It's the same thing as Magic. They put out hundreds of Magic cards, and then they see how sophisticated their play group is and how things combo, and they go, shit. We need to ban these cards now from Extended or from EDH or whatever because we didn't see
must
the
have played Magic in a long
time come down.
Did you play Magic a long time ago?
I've dabbled in Magic for a little bit, yeah.
Extended is not a format, but it's not a format anymore since
it's now like modern is now Extended, and like Type 2 is considered like our modern. I think it's the way it is.
Type 2
I want to get.
Yeah.
But it was so funny is I was holding my tongue when you were talking about the power creep, and then we complain about it, and it brings like just so much anxiety and frustration when I start hearing people say the word power creep, because like you said, it's in every single game. They act like it's the first time. Like, can you believe WizKid, or can you believe this game or this game? And I just, what do you think was going to happen? You were going to buy the base set, and these were going to be the best cards ever made? and that's the way it always was going to be, or this or that. Stuff's getting I can't, because I'll go on this for an hour. Like I was when you said power creep, it just.
Do you are you talking about the guys at Brave New World?
I'm talking. Actually, those guys aren't too bad. I hear it every once in a while. Surprisingly, they really aren't. Like those guys are great in the way that they play the game, they enjoy the game. You really don't hear them bitching about stuff very often. No, we don't play resources and stuff. They don't play resources, and there's, like you were saying, like ID cards hardly ever happen. But it's like actually anytime, especially like somebody kind of gets into a game and then a new set comes out, and now maybe their deck they're using or their team they're using.
Yep.
Oh, well, this is that's why we have new stuff, so the new stuff can be made, because that's kind of the like 75% of the people enjoy that part of this game is actually coming up with that new. I can't. This will be a 3-hour episode. You guys will be asleep. I'll still be yelling.
Just name. I just want a name. One name.
A name.
Who is it? Because you're like really passionate about who.
I just hear it all the time. I don't know. I hear it like, luckily, like the guys. I've heard it from like other games of people we don't know as much. And then of course, so I actually am not going to get on this topic this week. I know I told you I was going to, but so I go to the unit section on AC Realms.
Oh,
you know, for me, really quick, it's like, you know, when you go to the units, it's like when you go to the store, and in the back is what you want, but you have to pass by some bullshit to get there.
Yep.
And for some reason I can't help myself but just scroll down to like the last things, or I want to check out like the, you know, whatever the new set, the stuff that they've been posting in the forum part.
The comments.
And I get clickbaited so hard. The game is dying, or this announcement, or this. And I go, okay. And I only read the first page because I'm not that much of a
masochist.
Yeah, I'm asking to go through anymore because my head will just explode. I'll just be sitting there for the rest of the day trying to figure it out.
Go down the rabbit hole, baby.
When you see that stuff, feed it to me, please, and I will have Rage Report stuff on top of Rage Report stuff to write. Because
I would.
Tell him.
I would love to start a series called "What I've Learned on the Realms Lately."
No, but what the tell him what, because I don't go there to look at the forums anymore. I just look at the unit section. But tell Travis what was the thread that you just went nuts on.
No, it was like the game is dying or something again. So by the way, this is like the 15th one we see over, you know, whatever.
It's season, so it's the fall season.
Yes, it's the fall season. The game is dead, or I'm leaving. Those are my favorite. I'm not playing anymore.
They were pissed off because of the Days of Future Past it's such garbage, Days of Future Past, and now it's going to be restricted to certain stores, and the game is dying, and blah blah blah. That one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I went to the first page. I did like my routine.
What are some of the highlights? I want an abridged version because I haven't seen it.
I don't remember them, because if I do, then I won't sleep at night, because you really realize how ridiculous people are. And like I said, you know, it's just like I said, my favorite ones are I'm leaving the game. Oh, okay. And then people start posting, and then they tell you why they're leaving the game, and I'm like, no, that's not how this works. Like, that doesn't...
The game is dying because of this bullshit Days of Future Past storyline op that we're getting. Obviously, WizKids doesn't care about its player grouping. Obviously, it showed they didn't care last year either, because we got this bullshit Colossals and vehicles optics that were just kind of slapped together in old figures. What else did they say?
Was this? I thought I saw you say something like, "Hey Dan, didn't you have Invisible Jet on your team?"
It bled over to Facebook. Dan said, "Yeah, that stuff was kind of lousy." And I was like, "Didn't you have the Invisible Jet on your national team?"
I remember reading that.
One vehicle doesn't make the whole thing.
Yeah,
great.
Right. Okay, I remember.
I didn't say it was great. I said it was good. For what it was good. It introduced the new vehicle, special terrain, and it gave us Dormammu, which was a pretty
retaliator.
It gave us, what else did it give us? The Merc Jet, I believe. And it gave us the Invisible Jet. So it was Basically, the way I looked at it, it was WizKids testing the wall. Put it in the Avengers Infinity. Put it right in there. We'll have the Stark car. We'll have the Doom buggy. We'll have all these special trades. But for somebody out of one side of their mouth to say, yeah, it wasn't that great of an op kit, and then someone to be like, well, didn't you use one of it on your Nationals team? Well, it doesn't make it great. Well, it doesn't make it great, but it makes it good enough to make a lot of Nationals teams.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You can't say one without the other. Like,
no, yeah, that that makes sense. Yeah.
But here's the other thing: is that what makes it great? If it's like competitive, is that what? Because there's a lot of stuff that comes out that's really good, that's fringe, and
I mean, I've seen Dormammu played. I've
Yep.
seen it played a bunch.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, is that what makes it? Is that what makes a great OP kit? If
also-
all of it goes to nationals with everybody,
Even the little bystander tokens, I've seen them. The serpent guys and the 8 guys, I've seen them.
Eight Batmans. How many times do you see him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, I used Ape Flash on my my Rhode Island state championship team, just because he was just that one guy that could just kind of zoom over and hit you if I needed to. He had more range, and I wasn't caring about giving up 15 points.
Yeah.
Close to Jakeem, and now Jakeem's worthless. So awesome. Thanks for that.
Rest in peace.
It wasn't even on the watch list. He wasn't even on the watch list. And then the watch list comes out and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, fuck shit team.
I don't know if you've seen did you see I made a meme about that on our page on the Facebook page where it's 2 pictures of Kobe in the USA uniform that says when the watch list comes out and you're not on it, and then it's Kobe doing the fist pump, and then the next picture is the watch list is it's resolved and you're on it, and then he's like, what the hell? That's exactly, because that's what it was with Jakeem. It was like he wasn't on there, then also, oh yeah, by the way, Jakeem is also nerfed even more. You're like, what?
It was like haha Joker. It was, I think, Unimind, Pim Tank, and they made the change to the how the losing your defensive power works, basically.
Right.
People were using, well, I have defensive power from Eclipso, so I can still use that. And it was like, no. Defense is gone. Oh, and by the way, we'll just sneak in shape change on Jakeem. Bye-bye. And everyone was like, whoa, where did that backhanded slap come from? It wasn't even on the original watch list.
It wasn't. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
I'm glad that you got a kick out of it. I play DC.
Oh, so you never played Goblin King then, huh?
I have one. I have one now, but I've never fielded them ever.
Oh man, maybe you have to because there's such key.
Apparently so, because I can't pick shape change. I mean, I could throw a mirror on him.
Or you give him the symbiote, right?
Or the symbiote, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe the symbiote. I feel like maybe the symbiote, because it also gives him plasticity, and he just breaks away automatically. But the mirror being able to just roll, what is that, 3 through 6?
3 through 6. I always roll a 2.
Yeah, there you go. So
I always hear from everybody too.
So then, I always roll a 2.
Play symbiote.
Jason from Team Pusheen had the mirror on. Oh god, I can't remember who it was. The first time he rolled a 2. Mirror was gone. He was just like,
you're like 7 points for me.
And now you're down 7 points.
I think we were at top. No, it was the first 7 points I scored. Then he missed the Carnage, so the Carnage was just gone completely.
Nice.
He had a rough couple of rolls. I think he was their top 8 too.
That's some Scarlet Witch Hex power shit right there.
Oh yeah, and I think I had just made an off-color Heath Ledger joke, and then the Carnage dies, and I was like, well, in true fashion, takes himself out. He was just like, oh. We laughed. A couple of people who were sitting by didn't take time into it, and I told them they could take a walk if they didn't like it. Basically, you gotta have a sense of humor when you play this game.
Yeah. What's that, what's the tattoo you have on your chest?
The chest, I have this 3 huge X's. again, I'm straight edge.
Oh,
So
okay.
the X. Do you anyone know? I mean, you probably know like CM Punk, wrestler, straight edge. So the straight edge lifestyle was big in the punk scene. People give credit to it to like bands like Minor Threat and Gorilla Biscuits and things like that. So the X was kind of established into the culture where they would play their shows at bars and they'd be all ages. And if you were under the age of 21, they'd put an X on your hand so the bartender wouldn't serve you alcohol.
Oh, okay.
They chose to mark their hands with X's to, even if they were over the age of 21, to show their that they chose not to drink alcohol as well, and the X just kind of became that symbol for straight edge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a bunch on
I
it.
didn't realize that.
Learn something. I see that you had earlier you had the Green Lantern ring on your finger.
I do. I got the Green Lantern ring on my finger. I got that one there. I got more.
Does that give you a free barrier?
No, it actually. Weird story for that one. I got that one when my house burnt down.
What?
Yeah, this happened probably almost 8 or 9 years ago. I lost all of my Heroclix. I lost everything. My family lost everything. And as we all know, you get your Green Lantern from Will. Mm-hmm. So I got that tattoo that night because I was going to need willpower to get through all the tough times ahead. So, and my brother actually did it for me too.
Oh, that's cool.
Which made it even better. And
good thing you didn't go down the parallax route.
No, I was close. It was almost atrocious. I was just gonna rage out, just start Guy Gardner chainsawing. But no.
That is really cool though. That's like, that's a really awesome reason to have that tattoo. I mean, it's a terrible thing, but the way you turned it, so.
Every tattoo if you see a person with a tattoo, usually there's a good story behind it. If you see a man with I can't remember the exact quote, but if you see a man with a tattoo, that man has a story.
And, maybe on the East Coast, but not on the West Coast.
No, it's a fashion statement, I hear.
Dude, I mean, everyone's got a full sleeve, and it's because their buddy got a full sleeve, and there is a couple things like this is because of my mom. That one, that flower, it's like there's a couple of them.
Nope, I got a bunch, and usually they all have some sort of a meaning or something like that. I have some really unfortunate ones because in the tattoo culture too, if you get tattooed, if you get a 13 tattooed on you, not on the Friday the 13th, it's usually considered bad luck. And 13 tattooed on me the same day that the Paris attacks happened. The terrorists, I have some very creepy, like I'm literally watching it go on as I'm getting the tattoo done, and I'm like, this is like the worst timing to get this tattoo of all time. Is when we have
that tattoo.
Nope, still there. It's still a reminder.
Right in the middle of it, you start telling them, like, make that 8.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those tattoos. It's a reminder that not every single day in this world is guaranteed. That at any moment, something catastrophic or horrible could happen to you or a loved one or something like that. So you need to embrace every day because it could be your last. So it's just there's little things like that are reminders. I look at it every day, and I remember that day vividly. And it was a horrible thing that happened in Paris, and it just reminds me that I should be grateful for the things that I have in my life, and just very, very happy for where I am now. So
it gives you perspective.
Absolutely, it obviously does, and we may be in a cesspool of a country right now, with horrible political stances and just so much hatred and violence and anger towards one another, but there's still good things in this world, and you have to look for them. This shit just turned in a whole different direction. Went from Heroclix to real life stuff.
Welcome to the Majestix Podcast, man.
Hey man, it's just there's no structure. You just go.
No, do we go? That's one thing I give Pat. I was a little skeptical, but man, that's how he wanted to roll it, and I'm totally in on it now. I bought all in.
I was telling him I wanted to structure this more like if you listen to either the Joe Rogan podcast or the Platter and Kip, stuff like that, where they just kind of just go, because that's how you get to know more about the people. Instead of like, oh, let's go to fan questions, which is fine, but that's not what that's what we do.
Yeah, it was hard for me at first because I completely agreed. Like, I was like, okay, sure. But in my head, I was like, come on, there has to be some structure. Because I came from when we did the Genflix podcast, and it was all, like, we wrote out every episode. Like,
yeah, no, that's too much. Not only is it too much work, but, like, everybody does that.
Yeah.
It's mechanical. It's very mechanical.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's true.
here's a question.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here's a question.
Yeah.
It's not
natural.
fluid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. So so you're playing. This is like, oh, what a segue here. But so you're playing Green Arrow. All right, just spoil your team. Let's do it. Spoil your team.
I don't have a full on team yet. I'm still play testing. I will spoil. Nope, Green Arrow is not on my team.
Oh no. No, Batgirl. Was it Batgirl? What was the one you said?
It's on my team. I've talked to George multiple times. I talked to a lot of guys. I'm actually taking a trip in 2 weekends to Jersey to go train with the Pusheen boys.
Boom! See that?
So I was invited down. I talked to Abdul. I congratulated him in second place, and he said, "Hey, come down. It's not a tryout. They don't need another loudmouth in Pusheen. I'm not that good. I drop their win-loss down. They'd be like, hey, we're dragging ass now. Dump the Connecticut weight. We don't need that shit." I'd never been out there before, so I had congratulated Abdul on his second place finish. He said, yeah, we definitely got to get you down one of these days. And I was like, just name the day and I'll be there. And he was like, boom, this day. And I was like, oh, shit. He's like, yep, Jason can put you up. This guy can do this, that, come down. I was like,
that's cool.
All right, man, I'll be there. So my original team that I was thinking, and I'll give you my original. It may transform. It may move around a little bit. Overdrive, Batgirl, Sam Cap, Clone Shredder with Ocean Resurrection, Carnage.
Damn, you can fit all. That's pretty good.
Yep, Carnage and the Fast Forces Giant Girl. And then I think I still had room for 4 ID cards. So it was Wolverine, Brood X for Professor X, and I think it was Cyclops. So I think that's originally what I had put all together. I'm kind of second guessing a couple things because Unseen, that shitty character that everyone thought was just a waste of points, who actually is going out there and making a very big splash in the meta.
Yeah.
Hurts the Fast Forces Giant Girl too much. She goes from a 9 to a 7, I think, attack.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got a base 9, so that's just 10 points basically. I'm like, nope, I'm all set.
Well, then you should just, if you're gonna, you have Carnage too, you said, right?
Yep.
Well, you might as well just have Groot then. So you just have 2 Pogs and leadership.
I've kind of dabbled with that idea too. Leadership I have on the clone already as well.
But yeah, so it's only for 1 click though.
Yep.
So if he does ping, then it does hurt a little bit.
So there are a bunch of different things I'm dabbling around with. I mean, I saw I have the Doc Ock LE, but again, he's very squishy too.
Yeah.
He takes a pop, and he's kind of a one-shot deal. If I can get him there, and I can pop off all these attacks, then I'm good. But if not, I'm kind of just like, okay, Doc Ock's gonna die next turn probably.
Do you You've obviously been keeping up with like the previews and stuff.
Yep.
You think any of those are going to be worth playing? Rock Upper Worlds?
I think, what's the one that I just saw? The one that surprised me, I think it was Archon. He can deal penetrating psychic blast, and then anybody who is adjacent takes 1 penetrating damage as well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He's decent. I think he was. I think he might have been a rare. I think he was the first day of Scott Porter pulls.
Okay. I haven't seen all those.
But there's one goofy thing in there. He explains that apparently in the storyline, he is trying to find his home country, and he can't.
Oh yeah.
So one of the traits that he has is your opponent is able to move him in 1 adjacent square. So every single turn, your opponent can just, all right, I'm going to move him over here, and then you start your turn. So he's always getting kicked around.
It seems like it'd be pretty bad for like if you have a taxi or you're trying to taxi him around or anything like that.
Does it say move or place?
I want to say places it into a square adjacent.
Okay, because it was moved. At least they have some breakaway.
Yes. I think it was they were able to place it in a square adjacent to the one that he currently occupies.
What about that? What do you think of that Odin that can he can stop clicks, right? And he can like
Keep you
get
from
around
healing too, right?
Can he protect? Can he can get around protected outwit, right, or something like that?
He can get around something like that.
And they can't use stop clicks. I'm pretty sure that's one of them.
Is it that or Mastermind? Maybe I thought it was Mastermind.
Seems pretty good though. I mean,
what was he, 140?
Yeah, I don't know how many points.
He has 2 point. He has 2 point levels. I want to say like 175 and 120. I'm about to make. I'm gonna see if I get hosed again by the
realms.
The realms. They got me a couple weeks ago. Made me look bad on here.
There you go, the old okie doke.
Oh, they did. Got me good.
I mean, we're still missing one. We're still missing one chase.
That Spiderling looks like it might have a place.
Iron Fist chase.
Yeah, I think Iron Fist could be good. It's only 75 points, great stats, good powers, good traits. Also has a little bit of protection, like you can't target it unless you're next to it or something like that.
There's something funky about it.
Adjacent opposing characters can't be healed, can't use protected outwit, and can't use stop clicks.
That's pretty good.
175 and 120, and he has that, that free 175 and 120.
120 is not bad.
And then he also has that trait that once per game make that ranged attack with a value of 8, which is nice because if you do the 120, you come across the board, use like if you have the points with Sam Cap, and then he has outwit too, so you can make that attack really stick. And he's an Avenger.
Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, no stop clicks, they can't heal, right?
Yeah, and can't use that protected outwit with all the power cosmic out there that people are relying on. No more Mastermind.
With a crap load of Star Fox and Unimind out there. Oh man.
How many clicks is Star Fox? 5?
He's 5.
If you come across the board with him, you could.
Yeah, outwit his super senses and whoever Sam Cap or whoever just punch
Well, him alone on the attack, he's an 11-4, so if you can get him up to an 11-5, and
I'm
he
talking
can
about
one-shot.
Turn. No, but the thing is, if you move up there and you base him and then don't do anything, Star Fox could theoretically kill him.
Yeah, he could hit you with, because usually
you need to do it the turn.
They're already getting Mjolnir on.
Yes.
And they will just push him just to hit you twice.
Yeah.
If you get close enough, they'll push to try and get rid of that Odin quickly.
So you're gonna have to either bring up Sam Cap to make sure you get another action, or one of those like Kirk, Sulu, whatever, to just get the attack off, just to maybe just kill him in one shot. Because you outwit his super.
Because it's a K. I'm sorry. Yeah, because it's
adjacent.
I was thinking about it from
bam, and you just kill him. That is a possibility.
You can do what I've done to be an asshole, and you can just run across the map, and then just have Sam Cap pick up Mjolnir, and just run back and be like, "The hell with you." I've done that.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, that could be something.
They put Mjolnir out there, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And they played a weird map where I was able to bounce back across elevation. So I ran up, got to a spot, I ran over, picked up Mjolnir, and ran back, and they were like, "Shit." And I was like, "There you go. Let's see what you do now." And they were just like, just completely thrown off their game. Like I was supposed to get that on my turn. Yes, now I've got it on my turn, and I'm gonna hit you with it. So I mean, and that's the thing where we're at is, and I just put this out in my last article, and I kind of got some people poo-pooing on it. Like, oh, this is the best meta we've ever seen. Oh, when the batteries were around, it was great, and it was that, and it was. But I still think that this is the best meta we've ever seen, because the conversations we're having, all the different teams that we're talking about, back when the batteries were around, you almost had to have a battery.
You know, I would probably dispute that because although you could play what you want basically, it's still one of like, okay, so I was talking about this with maybe I mentioned it to you, Chase, but there are degrees of these teams. So there's Shredders,
Yes,
X-Men, Cosmic. Those are, and then in between those there are degrees, but as a whole, and I guess Avengers, as a whole, they're the same concept. If you play X-Men with Blackbird, you play X-Men without Blackbird, you're still playing like 2 or 3 Wolverines, Lila Cheney instead of the Blackbird. You're playing Moira. It's like there's no difference. And if you're playing Unimind or Star Fox, it's kind of the same. I guess Starro might be the only outlier just because he has like mind control things, but it's still you're still playing like Lockjaw, Groot, stuff like that. But when they came out with the watch list originally, back in 2013, 2014, around that era, when they were their very first time, when they did the errata on like the utility belt, the heroes for hire, and the team bases.
And Faust was it? Afterwards.
No, Faust was in like 2016 or whatever.
Yeah.
But back in 2013, after Daniel joins One Worlds and Jake won Worlds with the bumper cars, and Daniel joins one with the heroes for hire, and then the team bases. And then they changed to Shatterstar. Then when they did all of that, the format actually opened up immensely, like huge, because that was the time when The Rock was around, like just started, and that's when we started traveling. And then the metagames for all those were completely different because there was Power Plant, there was Phoenix Force, all the batteries, Book of the Skull, Utility Belt. In addition to the team bases, if you wanted to go that route. But because you had all those options, you literally could play whatever you wanted. Because all you had to do is slap something on it, and you had at least a chance to win. So back then, when we were going around, there was just all kinds of teams. There was like no 2 teams that were the same at any place that we went to. There would be like a New Mutants team base here, Iron Pharaoh over here, Justice League team base over there, and then
Phantom X too back then, right?
Well, yeah, Phantom. Yeah, oh my god, I even totally forgot about Phantom X. But all those types of teams, all Brother Voodoo teams. So, maybe now just because they don't have, it's not. I think they've done a better job with balance in terms of not, they've nerfed Jakeem, they've nerfed Goblin King, so it's not just the same things all the time. I think it's still. I think the one back then would be. I know it's like way back then, so it's hard to remember, but being someone who played in all those, I think back during that time. This is pre-Faust, pre new rules, all that stuff. This is all, I think.
It's still saying a lot. This is not healthy.
It's still healthy, for sure. And obviously with Battle World coming out and then more and more people dabbling into, Batman animated series, you might see more and more teams. But for sure, I mean, I think it's great. I just now, after seeing ID cards forever, I think the ID cards are a little too strong, just in my opinion. Because it's just I don't know, man. I used to really, really like them when they had the old rules, but now with the new rules where you can just do it anytime, I think that makes it a lot harder. Especially with Sam Cap up there, like doing that.
Yeah.
Oof.
No, I think you're right when it comes to that. When I first got back into it was right around the time when it was you needed Jakeem or Faust.
Oh god.
Or like it was literally just. I mean, look at like what was it? Was it Rocktober last year? Like,
oh god, that was the worst.
It was Unimind.
It was Unimind, or you're watching the finals.
Well, I think, because Kenny Pena made sure to point it out to me that he made it into the top 8 using Mistress Death.
So top 8 in the top.
Rest for all Unimind.
Yeah, in the top 8, it was Unimind. There were 6 Uniminds, 1 Mistress Death, and 1 Jakeem.
Yes, I think it was
That was, and Dustin Cedars was the
Jakeem. Yep.
But the top 4, I want to say the top 4 were all Unimind.
And I think they're almost identical builds.
Isn't that what Howard ran in the Worlds too?
No, he played Goblin King.
Goblin King.
Oh, Goblin King, that's right.
Goblin King, he ran.
At Worlds, it was Goblin King or Jakeem, that's it. Those are the 2.
But
so, yeah, for sure. Compared to then, now it's awesome.
Yes, and I think that's that. So yeah, we maybe had a little bit more versatility when we had the books and we had
all that. Just because you had more options, that's all.
Yeah, but
there was also pre-ID cards back then.
Yes.
So I guess ID cards do add another element which could make up for that. But
now with the new rules, we've ruined some of the old resources, like the Book of the Skulls and things like that. When it's just single person quake for full damage and just
yeah. Well, good thing nobody plays those formats or plays book.
Well, it's a good thing it's also been banned in certain circles.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a book was. It was nice, and it was nice for the couple months that people were playing it. But then when they're just like, dude, this is just too strong.
And then you saw how it worked, and you were like, oh god, it puts perspective into how far the game has come.
Mm-hmm.
I think the end of it was seeing Alonzo and Aaron going at it, both with the book and with Bishop's Dad. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, but in our series, it was just like people were just winning with it all the time. It was either runner-up or top 4 in almost every event. And it was just like, yeah, book's too strong.
I'm out here on the East Coast, but I'm still watching. And
I know. We see you. I see you when we're streaming. I say, oh, I got Error's Edge just joined. Like, hey, there he is.
And people always, and I've gotten that feedback from people too. Like, how can you have that kind of an opinion? You're not around on the boards that much. You don't play that much. And I'm like, just because I'm not running my mouth doesn't mean that I'm not watching you guys all run yours. Like, just because I don't just jump right in and slam shit, don't mean I'm not just keeping some of that dumb shit you say in my back pocket.
Yeah.
That's a great op kit. Didn't you play Invisible yet? I just keep those little things just handy.
Those are funny, man.
I watch everything, man. I read everything.
Yeah, I know.
Talk Heroclix every day. I drive for work all day, and I send audio. Pat can tell you, I send audio messages all the time about Heroclix because I can't type while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I'll have some random thought and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this?" And it's just, I may not be typing a lot on there. I may not be, jumping into these flame wars about the game is dying or anything.
But you should, because it's funny.
But then I just get myself. I know. In a situation where it's like, I'll say some shit and then people will be like, "Oh," like when I talked about the game dying, or when I posted up the thing for Majestix, and I was like, "I think this is the best meta we've ever had," and it was. Someone posted up something about, "Oh, you take off your rose-colored glasses," and I'm just like,
must be a Realms guy.
To my opinion, I think this is probably one of the best, most well-rounded. You know
what's
what did the Realms guy get on the Majestix page? How did that happen? This got lost on them.
You know what the thing is? It's okay to have a different opinion as long as they don't come at you like you're an idiot.
That's true.
If they I disagree because of this, but if they kind of come at you like, well, you're dumb, you're just very this, whatever, then you're like, obviously it's going to be confrontational. But they could
start bringing politics into it. You're like, what the hell?
But there could easily be, you can have a debate if you want. But when the second that somebody comes in there and does that, it's like, well, then what are we? Well, we don't need to talk about this.
No, because you're not bringing facts. You're just bringing your feelings, and I don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
Bring me facts.
Yeah.
And even Howard jumped in on that too and was like, the game is not dying. It literally just had the best selling year it has ever had. They just got the WWE license.
Yeah.
We're gonna say that.
Yeah, we had Star Trek, we had Turtles,
Ninja Turtles. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, it's dying. It sure looks like it's dying. We got a shitload of product coming at us.
You know what I was
It's
telling,
dying.
I was telling, remember Chase, how, so, I don't know if you remember when like maybe a year or two ago, WizKids and Heroclix was the number 5 selling, collectible game.
I think it went down even farther than that a little bit.
It's now number 4. So,
Yeah, it's only behind the big 3.
yeah, it's only behind the big 3, which, like, that's not gonna, they're just been around
I would
longer.
love to see the numbers differences, though. I want
Was
to
that
see how
TNT
close.
40K War Machine?
No, collectible.
This is a
Pokemon
different-
Magic and
Oh, okay, including cards. Okay.
Yeah, because it's a collectible game.
yeah. So that's how they rank it, is on a
Oh,
collectible
so they don't.
instead of the tabletop.
This game is just
Blind boosters versus stuff you could just buy.
I wouldn't be surprised if we were going from a miniature standpoint if it's not the best selling. I think it probably is.
Probably is, because you just it's an impulse buy. You can't do that with other games.
X-Wing was at a level that's not even on the list now. Last year they were number 1. Now they're not even on the top 5.
I had this same exact conversation with my store owner. This guy, if you guys ever come to the East Coast, he has the biggest storefront. I'll have to live video it, but he has a huge storefront, and
What's it called?
What's that?
What's the store called?
Sarge's Comics and Games.
Okay.
It trended for a while because Joaquin Phoenix came in and bought a shitload of Doctor Strange comic books.
Oh, now he's in there to get Jokers.
And it was around the time that he was being talked about being Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
So, and it's right by the Amtrak station. So he hopped off, grabbed a bunch of comic books, and then hopped back on to go to Rhode Island for a movie shoot. So, and I told him this too. I'm like, he always panders. Like, I wanted to come back and play on Wednesdays again. No, it's Dungeons and Dragons. We do Dungeons and Dragons, and we do 40K in the back. Okay, so what days? Sundays are good for you. I'm like, okay, well, my guys like football, and you guys are only open until like 4 o'clock. That doesn't really work for us too much. Well, that's the day I'm giving you. So finally, I walked them around and was like, look at all the product you have on, and I'm running dust, like wiping dust off of it. Like, your guys may play that night, but they're not buying anything from you. They have their team, and they're done purchasing from you now. They'll buy paints once in a while. I'm like, look at the Heroclix case.
Yep.
It's almost empty because when my guys come in, they buy product from you every single release. So I would expect you to give me a little more leeway when we can play tournaments in the store. No. Just doesn't get it. And it kills me.
Man, gotta find another store.
There's no stores. Over Massachusetts, 2 hours this way, guy.
Oh man.
Or it's out in Rhode Island. Literally, I'm trying to think. Even like the Connecticut state championship.
Yeah.
It's in Middletown, which is a 45-minute ride west of me, and they play their games on Thursdays, and they don't run anything in the wind. Nothing is labeled.
Oh, so you just gotta call or know somebody.
I looked up there. Well, finally, I talked to Howard and was like, hey, are we getting a Connecticut State Championship this year? Because I went down to South Carolina for vacation. And he was like, yeah, I reached out to the guys from last year. And I'm like, how the hell did you even find them? I'm like, because they're not even in the win. And he's like, I think it was word of mouth. So I found their website, and they have a picture of a whiteboard, and it just shows a schedule. So it says Heroclix Thursdays. So I'm like, okay, great. So this guy who doesn't report anything in the wind is getting the Rock State Championship in Connecticut. So I messaged the guy and was like, hey, if you can do it July 14th, it's a Saturday, that would be outstanding. I can probably get 7 guys from other states and from across the state to come and play there. I would really appreciate it because the 15th, I'm flying to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Replied back, nope, it's the 15th. I was like, you motherfucker. And what I heard was not good. And last year, if you check last year's, the winning team was like a main squatted Nick Fury. And I was like, how was there 4 guys there? And he had to be the one using the Nick Fury that day? how does the main squad Fury win? And I was obviously doing something that day. I think I had baseball, but I hate Connecticut when it comes to Heroclix. I hate it. Just
Well, I know you've been telling me you've been trying to build up I know you've been venting a lot with those guys, and it sucks. I mean, you're like, just to get a Winamap is just so hard to do.
Just to be able to get just a slot a day.
Yeah.
Just a slot a day. I've even gone around. I want to run. What I want to do, my big thing, and what I want to do is I want to run a Clicks for a Cure. I want to have someone donate a space. I want to get the Red Cross there, and people who donate blood will get 5 or 10 entries into a raffle, and they'll also get 4 probability controls that they can use at any time during any match.
Mm-hmm.
I want to then have all of the money and proceeds go towards something like the Dana-Farber Cancer Research in Massachusetts, or, the Jimmy V Foundation, some sort of like cancer research. But I can't even get a damn winner map. Let alone this big grandiose idea of things that I want to do in Connecticut. So
yeah, well, hopefully
you gotta walk before you run.
True.
All right, guys, I actually gotta get going. Anything else before we go?
Plug your page.
Oh yeah.
Well, me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm one of the guys. I thought I was talking to Chase. Yeah, I'm one of the Brothers Grimm. You can find us on Facebook at Brothers Grimm Heroclix. We try and get out as much stuff there as possible. You'll also see my stupid ugly mug on Heroclix International Exchange doing live videos for no reason. I could be in a tank top sweating, doing dishes, just talking about Heroclix to people.
I've seen it.
I'm telling you, I do it. I don't care. I don't care where I am. I enjoy giving as much back to the community that this community has given to me. So whether it be me doing stupid live videos, but spoiler alert, you're gonna see a lot of dumb shit come Worlds, because I'm gonna be live just live Facebook and everything, from the car ride down to Pennsylvania to being in the halls, to me shit talking like, somebody who's at the middle of playing a game. It might be crucial.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
So you just missed that attack. How do you feel? And just lean. Okay, back to you.
Do you feel you should have perplexed the attack instead of damage?
Yeah. Do you feel like perplexing the attack the damage was a bad idea when you missed by 1? Okay. No comment. Okay. Back to you guys in the studio. And I think this is why Kenny won't put me on. If I end up making a couple wins, Kenny's probably going to be like, no, we can't put him on the Twitch stream. He's going to say some dumb shit. He's going to swear a lot. We can't put this idiot on the stream. I don't care he's 3-0. Go put him there. You can't put him on the live stream. He's going to say something stupid. And I probably would. I probably would.
We would be upset if you didn't.
That's perfect.
I would put butts in seats. I would get views.
Of course.
Did you see what Gary's just said on the live stream?
That's what it's about, man.
He just called Dustin Cedars a motherfucker for some reason.
He would probably say thank you, man. He would probably thank you. He's such like a super nice, calm guy.
It would be, and that's what it would be. They'd be like, "This is probably like the funnest game I've ever played with just some high energy New England asshole. Just wouldn't shut up the entire match. He sweat really bad. He smelled like cheesesteaks."
I got done with it. I really wanted a cheesesteak. I don't really know what happened.
I had 3 in my backpack. You want one? Sorry. We're going to use this part of the map.
You're handing out cheesesteaks before matches. Best match ever played.
I would choose Muir Island and be like, we're not going to go into this water over here, right? Okay, roll up the cheesesteaks right there. Okay. Oh, what's that? You got floor colossus? Ah, shit. You are going to use the water. Never mind. Let me roll that back.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's awesome to meet
you. Fun, dude.
This is a great cast, man. I had a blast.
Next time. We'll have you on more for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Anytime you want to have fun,
sure. Yeah, make sure you guys read all of his Rage Report Players Pulse stuff. It's a lot of good stuff on there.
It's free.
Yeah.
All my stuff's free, but also subscribe to it and pay the $3 because you have a lot of great writers on there. You got George, you got PJ, you got a lot of good guys giving you Tiago. You have a lot of good guys giving you a lot of good information that they're not just going to hand out to you. So subscribe to it. But if you want to hear my dumb mouth, my shit's free. Go off.
With that said,
finish this out, Pat.
when in doubt, perplex the attack.